as the sun shines off the water, and the sandhill cranes are dancing in the field. It's high summer here in Homer, and the raspberries are giving a high yield. And I want to stay forever where God's garden still provides, and the changing tide's the only time that matters in the vast Alaskan countryside. And we're driving out the east end in a car with crooked headlights after dark. There are 3 moose in the roadway, and the little one is bigger than the car. And I want to stay forever where God's garden still runs wild, and the changing tide's the only time that matters in the vast Alaskan countryside. As the boat pulls from the harbor to go fishing halibut at Barren Isles, he says, "Welcome to my office." And Captain Mike sits at the wheel and smiles. And I want to stay forever where God's garden still provides, and the changing tide's the only time that matters in the vast Alaskan countryside. Now the bar is full of tourists taking pictures of reluctant fishermen. They all come from where I come from, and we're living life large for one weekend. And I want to stay forever where God's garden still provides, and the changing tide's the only time that matters in the vast Alaskan countryside. Now the days are getting shorter, and the northern lights are winding through the sky. Soon I'm leaving for the city for some reason, though I can't remember why. And I want to stay forever where God's garden still provides, and the changing tide's the only time that matters in the vast Alaskan countryside. And I want to stay forever where God's garden still runs wild, and the changing tide's the only time that matters in the vast Alaskan countryside. Hello, everyone. My name is Dana Lyons. It is September 19th, 2020. An auspicious time, a historical time here in the United States and the world. This is my show, the second episode of my show, Apocalypse Cow, and I've even figured out how to do fancy banners. Look at that. Look at that. Apocalypse Cow, episode 2. Isn't that fantastic? Well, it's a bit of a crazy time in the world and a challenging time in the world. And when I sent out, unlike the first episode where I sent out an emailing saying, hey, I'm doing this 10 minutes in advance, this time I thought I would give folks slightly a little more notice. So I sent out an email the day before, which of course means I'm committed to doing it. And it had already been a challenging week. The air is much better here in Bellingham and on the West Coast, though the fire smoke is now plaguing Montana, South Dakota, Alberta, and British Columbia. And indeed, it extends all the way across to Louisiana and Florida if they don't. And the South has enough problems with the hurricanes coming in there without our smoke. But the smoke covers about 25% of North America, about half of the United States. Those fires are still going on. A friend of mine is missing in the fire zone, so I'm very worried about him. We're all very worried about him. He's a really smart, tough guy, so if anyone could figure out a way to survive that lying down the stream or something, he would, but we're worried about him. Tough week. A few friends have COVID. I'm going to sing a requested song to my friend Josh later on. And he's going through the COVID thing. He's quarantined in his little room in a high-rise apartment in Honolulu, quarantined away from his family. He misses his family. I'm sure he misses everything, but he's doing his best on the internet. So hopefully Josh will tune in, hear his song today. Hope he's feeling better. My friend Sarah James lost her son this week, and if you haven't heard about that, I'm sorry to break that news to you. So it's been a challenging and rough week, and that's in partly why I wanted to sing today, both for my own healing and sing to the folks who are still in the smoke. Celebrate for the folks in Portland who now have clean air for the first time in a long time, and I think the Bay Area has some clean air the first time in a long time. We in Bellingham have the first clean air for the first time in a week. It's a very oppressive thing to not be able to go outdoors and not be able to breathe well. So we've got a bit of relief because the wind is blowing the smoke somewhere else. On this week's version of Apocalypse Cow, I am going to be singing my song Drop of Water and telling the story about it. And I'll get that to a moment, but first I see some people have been commenting. I'm so glad this is working, and there's a few of you out there. Let me just take a quick look there. Who's here? Okay, we've got Be Like the Squirrel, Patricia. Great to see you again so soon. Yes, thank you, Gloria. I'm a little surprised you're seeing me this soon, too. But I was inspired. I've been holed up in my house, holed up in really one room with the air filters going, so it just feels good to sing. Oh, thank you. The only time that matters. Yes, I'm just kind of celebrating a little bit of clean air and dreaming about being up in Alaska, being where nature is still largely intact, where the wild things run around. Carrie is here from Australia. It is early, Carrie. What are you doing up so early on a Sunday morning? I mean, are you working on Sunday? I mean, my God, I think it's like 5 a.m. there. Welcome. And yes, Lee. I wonder if is Lee watching? I don't know. That's early for Lee too, out there in the northwest corner of Australia, out there in Derby and Kununurra. Let's see. Pat is here from Kitsap County. Chris is here from Ohio. Love you too, Matt. Thank you. Carl. Oh, look, I love that picture of Carl with the parrots. Carl and I did a tour years ago throughout Aotearoa, New Zealand. Good to see you, Carl. Glad you're here. Beth, applause. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Jim is here. Thank you, Jim. My childhood buddy, Jim Hassler. We're getting ready to hopefully go on a trip to the desert. Carrie's out with the dingoes. And Oshie is here from Roanoke, Virginia. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. Okay. Oh, wow. James is here from the lowlands. Fantastic, Jim. Happy to hear you. Are you in Europe? I think you're in Europe. So it's very late there. Yeah, I tried. I did it. I'm doing it at 2 today. I'm experimenting with different times to do this. 2 in the afternoon. In North America, people might be out and about, but a lot of us are under smoke. So a lot of us are trapped in our houses. I wanted to do it early enough, so it's 10, 11, 12 midnight in Europe, so the Europe folks can watch. And it's very early in the morning for those of you in Australia. And let's see, Robbie. Oh, Robbie, I'm glad you're watching again. And yes, yeah, we're sorry that you now have our smoke. We can breathe, but Montana cannot. We apologize for that. Hopefully the rains will come and put out the fires, which are raging. Well, James is in the Netherlands. I know my buddy Timothy is about to head to the Netherlands. And Sarah's saying hi to James. So this is, I enjoy watching people see each other from all over the world in the comments section. Okay, I'm going to sing Drop of Water and tell that story. Drop of Water, it's a hopeful song. It's a powerful song. And yesterday when we were still clouded in smoke, I thought, I could just really stand singing this song and sing it for those folks still stuck in the smoke. I was on tour in New England, and we had one show in Ottawa. It was called the Tour of the Damned, spelled D-A-M-M-E-D, and we were singing about the proposed dams in Quebec and Ontario, all on Cree Indian territory. And the dams would be damming up these beautiful wilderness rivers to provide electricity for Hydro-Quebec. And the Tour of the Damned is a whole nother story. I was touring with John Seed and Hart Phoenix and Cindy Brinkman and Matt Jacobson and David and the whole crew. Some representatives from the Cree Nation were touring with us. River Phoenix joined us and Lou Gold joined us, part of the tour. It was a beautiful tour. I'll tell that story in some other broadcast. But we were on that tour and we went to Ottawa. And we had a great show in Ottawa, our one Canadian stop on the tour. And afterwards, there was a big feed going on at somebody's house. And we were all gathered there having a great time. And someone started telling the story of Milton, born with a tooth, a Blackfoot Indian activist from Alberta who drove a bulldozer through a dam. And I was over at the food. If you're ever at a party and you can't find the musicians, go over and look where the free food is. That's where you'll find us. And I thought, wow, he drove a bulldozer through a dam to draw attention to a larger dam that was being constructed that was going to flood his grandparents' gravesites. And I thought, I would love to meet this guy. And Milton's no longer with us. Milton passed away 2 or 3 years ago. But what I came to learn was at that time, Milton, born with a tooth, was the most famous Native American activist in Canada. And I learned he's from Alberta. And I thought, oh, Alberta, Bellingham, that's only a 16-hour drive. I'm going to go see if I can find him. So my buddy Craig Evarts from Spokane at that time, now Craig I think is out in Helena, I picked up Craig and we started driving for Alberta. And I didn't, back then it was before the internet. A simpler time. Imagine life before Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, and we had telephones. It was pretty nice. But so I called information and I asked for Milton Born with a Tooth, because how do I find this man who bulldozed the dam in southern Alberta when there's no internet? So I called information, and they didn't have a Milton Born with a Tooth, but they had Milton's sister. And so I thought, well, I'll call. And I called, and I didn't get an answer. And then I kept hunting around, and I figured out that the area code was somewhere around, I don't know, Lethbridge, or it's the Piegan. I figured it's the Piegan Nation of the Blackfoot Nation, and they're centered around, most folks live around southern Alberta. So I thought, well, we'll drive there, see what happens. And so we're coming down, I think it was Lethbridge, I might be getting the town incorrectly. We're coming down into town, and I see all these teepees set up, and like a lot, like 100, 200, 300, and there's a million cars, and I'm like, oh my God, it's the powwow. We're going to find him. He's going to be at the powwow. So we drove on into the powwow, and we're looking around and asking for Milton Born with a Tooth and the Lone Fighters. And people said, oh, you might try over there, you might try over there. And then finally I was led to this one man who's with the Lone Fighters, and he's looking at me like, and who are you? And why do you want to meet Milton? And he was suspicious. And when I think about it, rightfully so. Maybe he thought I was with the CIA, but he's asking me these questions, and I realized, oh, he's suspicious of me. So yeah, his kids came running up while we were chatting, and so I gave him a copy of At Night the Howl at the Moon. I said, here's a At Night the Howl at the Moon cassette. I'm a environmental folk singer. Slap this in, let the kids listen to it. You'll figure out who I am. And like about 20 minutes later, he comes over. Okay, I'll introduce you to Milton. And so he told me where to meet him. And then later on that night, I was watching the dancing. It was beautiful. It was just beautiful hanging out at the powwow. And I went over to meet, and Milton wasn't there, but his spiritual leader, Tiny Man Heavy Runner, was there. And Tiny Man is also no longer with us, I'm sad to say. But I chatted a bit with Tiny Man, and all of a sudden Milton shows up, and he says, I can't talk now. And Milton's a big guy. He's like 6'9". I bet 300 pounds. He's big. The biggest man I've ever met. And he wasn't fat. He's just, he's like a mountain. He says, I can't talk now. I'm gambling over at playing the games over at the other tent. But I'll meet you tomorrow at the river. Meet you at the Old Man River, right near the site where we drove the dam, the bulldozer through the dam. And so I went down there because I want to hear the story. I want to hear, what actually happened there. And he says, meet me there at dawn. It's like, okay. And Craig, being the good sport that he was, he gets up and we go down at dawn. And Milton wasn't there, but one of the Lone Fighters was there, the pipe carrier, who's one of the spiritual leaders within the band of Lone Fighters. And he says, listen. He says, here, Milton will show up. We're gonna build a sweat lodge, and while we're waiting for him, and we do that for a couple hours, and Milton's still not there. And finally, the pipe carrier says, okay, Milton will show, but what you need to do is, while you're waiting, I want you to listen to the river. Listen to the river. Just be quiet next to the river. You can swim in the river, but just stay with the river and listen carefully. And if you listen very carefully, you will hear the river's song. And if you hear it, you'll hear that it's a sad song because they're building that giant dam just upstream. So we hung out by the river, and we listened and we swam, and it was a very lovely day. And Milton never showed up, but we spent the whole day with the river. And a couple days later, we went up to Calgary and found Milton at his sister's place. And Milton was suspicious of us also, and he interviewed us for a while and realized, okay, you're all right. And then he told me the story of the lone fighters. And what happened was the provincial government of Alberta wanted to build a huge dam on the Oldman River. And the dam subsequently was going to flood Milton's grandparents' graves, literally their graves. It was going to flood a huge area on Blackfoot territory. So Milton thought, okay, there's a dam downstream, and they were claiming that this big dam was going to be to irrigate the farmers' crops, but really it was for electricity. And so the dam downstream, this earthen dam, had been providing water for the farmers in the area. So Milton reasoned, well, if you got this big dam up there, then you're not going to need the earthen dam down there. So to draw attention to the whole situation, to try to stop the dam, he went over to one of his neighbors and asked if he could borrow, I think it was a D9, relatively small bulldozer, and if he could borrow it for the weekend. And the moral of this story is you have to be careful who you lend your bulldozer to. But anyway, Milton and the Lone Fighters, I don't know, there were 12, 15 of them. They started digging away at this dam, this earthen dam. And I went and I camped on this dam. It's been put back together. And it's about, 50 feet high, 100 foot wide, and it's all made out of earth. And they start hitting into this dam, and people are using shovels, and they got the small bulldozer, and they're putting a dent into this dam. And, the days start going by, and it gets picked up on the news, and nobody does anything about it. And pretty soon it becomes the top news story, and, the news is making fun of them. I saw some of the headlines, the Indians playing with their Tonka toys. They weren't taking it seriously. They didn't think they would do any damage to the dam. And they didn't want a confrontation because they didn't want to draw attention to the big dam that was going to destroy and dam up, flood Milton's grandparents' grave sites and flood the valley. So they didn't do anything. So the lone fighters just kept digging away. And, a couple weeks go by, and it's the top headline, top news story in Canada every night. That Milton's digging away at the dam, and no one's doing anything about it. Well, someone goes and borrows their uncle's backhoe. So now you've got the bulldozer going in and the backhoe digging away, and they're picking up a little speed, putting a pretty big dent. And there's a lake behind this dam, and they're plugging away. And they're getting close to breaching this dam. And the farmers are getting nervous, so they call the premier, and they're saying, is anyone going to do anything about this? Is anyone going to stop Milton and Lone Fighters from punching a hole through this dam? And so finally, they're so close to punching a hole through the dam that the premier gives the order, and the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, the RCMP, about 400 of them, come and surround the lone fighters. And Milton told me this story himself. And at the camp, they were all about being strictly nonviolent, aside from bulldozing the dam, of course. But there was one rifle at the camp, a hunting rifle that they used to hunt game. But Milton figured they were one day away from breaching the dam. And he said he was prepared to die when he did this. But he jumped up. This is surrounded by, armed police. He jumps up on the bulldozer, and he fired 2 warning shots in the air. And he thought he was going to die right then and there. And the police did the right thing. They're like, we don't need to kill anybody here. We're going to... And they pulled back, and they figured, we'll arrest these folks when the time comes, or we don't need to have a shootout here. So they pulled back. And that gave enough time for the lone fighters to breach the dam and the water is flowing, but it's flowing into an irrigation ditch. It's not going into the natural riverbed of the Old Man River. And they're like, oh wow, we've gotta plug this one hole so it's not going in the irrigation ditch, so the river can be free, if only for a few hours before everyone gets arrested. And so they're working to plug this hole where it's going into the irrigation ditch, and the bulldozer gets stuck, and the backhoe gets stuck, and they're shoveling madly, and they're not making any progress. And this is what Milton told me. This is an amazing story. At this point, a beaver drags a big branch log into the hole of the water going into the irrigation ditch. And in the Blackfoot tradition, the beaver is the guardian of the water, the beaver spirit. And before Milton even tried to bulldoze through the dam, he actually went out and prayed. He prayed to the beaver spirit, the guardian of the water, what should I do? And he got this vision of bulldozing through the dam. But in the end, the beaver came, put this giant branch in place. That helped. They put some more sticks in there. That helped get the dirt in. They plugged the hole. The river's flowing through its natural course. And a few hours later, they came in and arrested everyone. One of the most amazing stories of my life. And then I went on tour with Milton a few months later, and we were driving across Alberta and Manitoba, and he had some talk, and I went out in the parking lot, and he said, go out there and write the song that you heard in the river. And this is the song. There's a drop of water on the wall, and the drop's about to fall, and it falls into a trickle, and the trickle's flowing down, down, down to the ground, and the moss begins to grow. Watch, 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 watch the water flow, and watch the current become a stream, busting through the seams, cracking through the concrete, bending down the steel in a raging that is real, a tearing torrent you can feel the thunder growing, thunder underground, and in my heart the chains falling apart, the wildness in my soul, and for once in life, I know I'm not alone, for the mountains make our bones, with the oceans in our blood, our feet planted firmly in the mud. We are alive, the burning embers in our eyes, the tingling touch upon our skin, and in the heat of passion we begin to understand that we are of this land, that we are part of earth, and when she's threatened, we will fight for all we're worth. We watch the dam come crashing down, water rushing to the sea, and now the river, now the river, now the river, now is free. Is free. The river is free. The river is free. the drop's about to fall, and it falls into a trickle, and the trickle's flowing down, down, down to the ground, and the moss begins to grow. Watch, 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 watch the water flow, and watch the currents that become a stream, a busting through the seams, a cracking through the concrete, a bending down the steel, in a raging that is real, a tearing torrent you can feel the thunder growing, thunder underground, and in my heart the chains falling apart, water rushing to the sea, and now the river, now the river, now the river, now is free. So thank you, Milton and the Old Man River, for all those amazing experiences in that song. Okay, just taking a look at this here. Very good. Thank you. Yes. Moved from Juneau to Portland just in time for the fires. Wow. Yeah, Juneau probably has the cleanest air in the world. Yeah, this is my third time going through a lot of smoke, and my guess is it's going to come and go until the fires are out, depending on the wind. But yeah, talk about not taking clean air for granted. Thank you. Yes, thanks, Robbie. Yep, that's the Piegan Nation of the Blackfoot Nation there, the Old Man River in Alberta. The Elwha is free. I got to sing this song at the dam removal ceremony for the Elwha River, and I think the Snake will be next. There might be some other dams removed before we get the Snake River dams yet, but I believe we're going to be able to pull that off. I think we have the political will, and we have to save the orcas, so we're going to do it. Oregon and Washington have done big things before. We're going to do it again. Well, my buddy Josh Green, this is going to be interesting. Put this on without the headphones. Josh is the lieutenant governor in Hawaii, and he's an old friend. And he got tested positive for COVID, and he's going through that right now. And he's going through the sickness. I'm not sure exactly where he's at right now in the process, but I'm hoping he's getting better. But he's quarantining in a room in his family's apartment in Honolulu, and he's also Hawaii's doctor. He's a doctor. Josh has set up clinics for low-income people. He's a hero, and along with the governor and others leading the fight on coronavirus in Hawaii. But we shared a text a few days ago, and he requested this tune. This is called "The Company Has Been Good to Me." Company's been good to us, my father said to me as we sped down the highway toward the great cement building there. With tubes and with needles they would open up his byways. They put you and your sister through school. Your mother never had to work if she didn't want to, and a 2 weeks paid vacation didn't hurt at all. Each summer we could take you kids camping by the lakeside. The company's been good to me. I can't believe they didn't tell me all that they knew. The company wouldn't lie to me, but now that I can't work, I don't know what I'm gonna do for you. You head home and take care of your mom. You know I hate to see her cry and causing a commotion. While you're there, give the company a call. The least that they can do is give my boy a small promotion. I don't know how I got to feel like this. I guess it's all the stuff that I've been breathing through these years. I've been so strong and healthy all my life. I never thought a little bit of dust was gonna kill me. The company's been good to me. I can't believe they didn't tell me all that they knew. The company wouldn't lie to me, but now that I can't work, I don't know what I'm gonna do for you. 2 hours later, my daddy was dead. The company's been good to us, was all my mama said. company's been good to me. I can't believe they didn't tell me all that they knew. The company wouldn't lie to me, but now that I can't work, I don't know what I'm gonna do for you. Workers' rights, taking care of people, making sure they have the proper equipment to stay healthy on the job. That's happening big time right now. Not only, that's about an industrial pollution, workers suffering from that. Now with COVID, some of us are just totally out of work, like the touring musicians, entertainers of the world. We're sidelined. We can't go on tour. But a lot of people are going to work. They're still going to work, and they need to be safe while they're working, and that includes the healthcare workers, the food workers, the people in the meat packing plants, the tellers at stores, the delivery drivers, the truckers. And here in the United States, we're in mourning, losing our amazing Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I just learned about that when I learned about that last night, I thought, whoa, am I gonna be able to sing after hearing that? Because it's a double tragedy. One, she's just a remarkable human being who gave much to the country and to the world. And on the other, what's going to happen to the American Supreme Court, the U.S. Supreme Court, and to the American democracy, which is just under assault like no other time in modern times. But I love this quote. When things are really down, when you're just wondering, how are we going to do this? Here, I'm going to break out one of my fancy banners here. I love this quote. This just keeps me going. So I'm thinking, how are we going to keep going? How are we going to pull this off? What happens if this? What happens if that? And then the great Crosby, Stills, and Nash quote, I've even got it as a revolving banner. Check this out. Rejoice, rejoice. Oh, I can't sing that or I'll get shut down. I can say it though. Rejoice, rejoice. We have no choice but to carry on, and we will. And we will. All right. Go back and check the comments. Maybe sing another tune. See how we're doing here. Juanita is here. Thank you. I'm glad you're here again. Hi, on to you, Juanita. I haven't played the harmonica in a long time. I had a couple errors in there, but I was pretty pleased with that. No way. Carrie heard Cane Toad Muster on 6 dBY. They're in Derby. I love Derby. I wrote a song about Derby up in Western Australia. That's good news. That's good news. And I sang Drop of Water for you. This whole show is for you, Anne. Anne helps me at a lot of my shows, selling my t-shirts and CDs and stuff, and both Anne and I are off tour now. We're both due to COVID. But it will be archived. This show is archived on YouTube and Facebook, so you will be able to go catch the whole Drop of Water story later on. And I should say, you're listening to I'm Dana Lyons. This is the second episode. So the reviews were high enough. The ratings were high enough for the first one to have a second show. We'll see if there's a third show. My new show, internet live show, Apocalypse Cow, archived live on Facebook, Dana Lyons Music, Facebook, and my YouTube page, archived on YouTube, live and archived. And my YouTube channel is called Cows with Guns Guy. There's no escaping that. There's no escaping that. If you want to hear when I'm going to be doing these, I don't know how often I'll be doing them. I haven't figured that out yet. But if you want to receive a notification ahead of time, you can sign up for my email list at my website, cowswithguns.com, or you can just send me a little note in Facebook Messenger saying, "Hey, Danny, here's my email list." Put it on the list. People have been asking, how do we donate? I haven't figured that out yet. I appreciate your thinking of that. I will figure it out soon. I'll get the PayPal, Venmo, Patreon thing organized. So thank you for thinking about that. And then another way you can help out is on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button. And then if you want to hear notifications when I'm live, you hit the bell. And then on Facebook, you hit like and follow and all that wonderful things as we pay homage to the algorithms of our friendly overseers in the communications world. Yeah, all the social media stuff. That's a help too. Okay, another drop of water. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. Absolutely, Carl. And for musicians, when the going gets tough, the tough go on tour. But we're we're sidelined, sidelined for now. Can I write a song about Ruth Bader Ginsburg? I should. She's one of the great Americans. I think she will go down in history as one of the most famous and influential Supreme Court justices of all time. Just an amazing human being. She will be sorely missed. She will be sorely missed. Oh, here's a beautiful Edward Abbey quote. May your trails be crooked, winding, lonesome, dangerous, leading to the most amazing view. May your mountains rise into and above the clouds. Oh, I love that. That's why I started the song with my song about Homer, Alaska, the only time that matters about Alaska. All right, what shall I play? What shall I play? I'm going to sing. I'm going to sing Willie Says, because it's a very hopeful song. And it's easy to, as we struggle to make sure there is a free and fair election in the United States, as we struggle to keep the U.S. from going into full-blown fascism, as now we struggle to replace Ruth Bader Ginsburg with an excellent Supreme Court justice. We worry about that, where the country can go with that. As the fires burn, as the ice shield breaks down in Antarctica and Greenland, sometimes I have moments of losing hope, but it doesn't take me long to get back on track. I was actually asked to give a sermon at the Bellingham Unitarian Church on hope, and when I was writing it up, I was like, what is hope? What is hope? And what is it when you don't have hope? And I realized there's been people throughout history who really didn't have a lot of reason for hope. And a lot of them perished under terrible circumstances. And a lot of them were fighting for their freedom. And they didn't know what the future held. are trying to escape slavery or escape injustice or escape poverty. And, there's plenty of people doing that right now. And I realized, I started thinking about Crazy Horse and Geronimo and Sitting Bull and Chief Joseph and Chief Seattle, all these leaders of Native Americans in the 1800s, when they knew that the environment was being destroyed, that their culture would probably never be the same. They knew that the world as they knew it was coming to an end. But they kept fighting. They kept going, even though there seemed to be no hope for some things. And I thought about them and I realized, why did they keep going? Because they had faith. They had faith in the future. They had faith in their children and grandchildren. They had faith that someday, 7 generations later, something different might happen. How could Geronimo or Chief Joseph or Sitting Bull or Red Cloud be able to see in 7 generations, after 7 generations of brutal suffering of their people, how could they imagine things like casinos and sending young Native Americans to law school? How could they guess that there might be some resources someday to help buy back and get back some of their land? That there might be some resources to send their kids into the Western culture to learn the law, to help get some of their lands back. They couldn't have seen that. And for those of us who are on this precipice of industrial collapse, the apocalypse, I wasn't planning on starting the show till the winter when I was stuck inside from the rain, and it was going to be a humorous thing. Apocalypse guy, let's figure out how to avoid the apocalypse. And the apocalypse arrived last week with all the smoke and fires and my friends losing their homes. And, and I thought, well, I can't go outdoors now. I might as well start now. But we don't know. We don't know what's going to be for the next generation or the generation after that, or the 7th generation. We now, I believe, even though I think all we're going to do is see, for those of us my age, for the rest of our lives, we're just going to see continued destruction of the earth. Things are going to get worse and worse. They're not going to turn around in our lifetimes. I think most of us realize that. But we're going to do our best anyway. We're going to do our best anyway because we have to turn it around. We have to develop a sustainable culture. And we have to do our best, 1, because it's the right thing, 2, because it's the only way we can look our younger friends in the eye, because it's our responsibility. We're the ones on watch. We're the adults in the room. We have to. And also, we have to do it on the faith that our kids and our grandkids and 7 generations down the line, that they're going to be able to turn something around. And, I don't know what's going to happen in the election, but no matter what happens in the election, we're going to keep on fighting for American democracy and democracy around the world. And no matter who's in office, no matter what laws they pass to destroy Mother Earth, to protect oil, coal, and fossil fuel companies, no matter what they do to make climate change worse, the rest of us are going to organize, and we're going to keep going. And we're going to keep going to turn it around for our kids, for our grandkids, for ourselves, and all the other species. I walked outside today for the first time in a week. For the first time, the air is clear. I could walk out there. I wasn't running to my car with a respirator on. And I'm going, walking out my yard, and there's a dead bird on the ground. What's the dead bird doing there lying in my yard? Big, beautiful bird. Well, I can guess. I couldn't breathe out there. So we're doing it for all the other creatures, for ourselves, for the future generations, And, rejoice, rejoice. We have no choice but to carry on. Hope or no hope, we keep going. We keep going. And humans, what humans are brilliant at, and this is a double-edged sword for humanity, but we're very good at adapting, and we're very creative. We're very good at surviving, and we will never give up. We will never give up fighting to protect our kids, the beautiful creatures we share Mother Earth with. So if Juanita's still watching, I'm going to dedicate this to her. I wrote this for Willie Cooper, who's a relative of Juanita, and I'll dedicate this to Juanita and all our friends out at the Lummi Nation. Willie says, here's a story that you may not comprehend, but the parking lot will crack and bloom again. There's a world beneath the pavement that will never end. The seeds are lying dormant, it will never end. Willie says, if you listen, you can hear the sound of birds, hear their song above the chaos, hear their words, listen to their love song that will never end. The seeds are lying dormant, it will never end. If you listen, you may hear. And the old one sits with me above the city, while I watch the madness of the world below. And then she laughs and tells me that it's temporary. Underneath the wild garden waits to grow. Willie says, when you say you are afraid, I understand. In a place where one can rarely smell the land, but the ocean breeze still blows here that will never end. The seeds are lying dormant, it will never end. Willie says, if you listen to this tree, you'll hear its song. It's the music that my people pass along. It's a dream that keeps returning, that will never end. The seeds are lying dormant, it will never end. If you listen, you may hear. And the old one sits with me above the city, while I watch the madness of the world below. Then she laughs and tells me that it's temporary. Underneath the wild garden waits to grow. Willie says, here's a story that you may not comprehend, but the forest here will rise and bloom again. There's a world beneath the pavement that will never end. The seeds are lying dormant, it will never end. Listen to their love song that will never end. It's a dream that keeps returning, that will never end, never end, never end, never end, never end. Will Willie says, Willie says, oh, Willie says, Willie says, Willie says, Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. I go to throwing a banner. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. Look at. Oh, yes. Yes, I'm so glad you got to hear it, Juanita. I miss her every day. Still remember the day she talked about her sadness, about the loss of our plants and trees. She was a basket maker and used healing plants. Thankful she taught me. I reminded her that even plants return through the cracked cement sidewalks in town. They do. They do. I always am so thrilled to see a plant pushing its way up through the blacktop. And I hadn't seen it. I have a little 8 by 7 foot cabin on Orcas Island, and I was out there a few weeks ago. And I have one of Willie's baskets there, beautiful cedar basket. It's so lovely to see that. But I'm really glad that you got to hear that song. Willie Cooper was an important leader at the Lummi Nation and for our whole region. And she was a relatively small person in stature, but when she when she went to address the tribal council took heed. She was a person of immense strength and power. You know, it's interesting thinking about her and also thinking about Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who was a very powerful person, also in relatively small physical stature. But Willie and her husband, Chattiscatum, were instrumental in resurrecting the traditional Lummi Longhouse religion here, and many other things. And I know it's just such an honor to know her. Thank you, Howie. Howie's one of the great warriors for the Orca Network. Conchetta out in the Okanagan. Do you have clean air? You might have clean air today. I've been worried about you all out there. You are right near one of the fires. Please give my love to Buffalo. And oh my goodness, Rob Ellen from Scotland. Hello, Rob. What a joy to hear from you. I got to tell you, I'm a Luddite, but I do enjoy finding my friends here on this. Rob set up, and I went on a tour through the Scottish Highlands with Rob Ellen. Rob has a radio show. I wish I remembered off the top of my head. Feel free to put it up there. Rob has a great radio show over in Scotland, which you can hear on the internet. And we just had the best time. Cruising through Scotland and going up to the Highlands. And oh, so nice to hear from you, Rob. Still clapping. Thank you, Gloria. Will I sing the tree? I will sing the tree. Someone asked for that last week. I'm going to sing that right now. I was thinking about what should I sing or should I close up. I got to tell you, the air is good here in Bellingham, so I want to go out for a walk. I have not been outdoors in a week, so I'm going to wrap up pretty soon here and go outside before the smoke comes back. But I will sing the tree. That's a great idea. Just going back up through here. Looking through. Okay. All right. Great. Thank you. Thank you, Steve. I'll sing the tree. Again, my name is Dana Lyons, and this is my new internet show, Apocalypse Cow. Episode 2, telling the story of Drop of Water and a few other stories. Really glad to have you here today. And sending out good wishes to everyone who's still in the smoke. Half the United States and a quarter of North America is covered with smoke from the fires on the West Coast. Montana, South Dakota, British Columbia, Alberta getting it really bad right now. We're getting a little bit of a reprieve here on the West Coast. And hope those fires go away soon. Thanks to all the firefighters who are putting up with incredible difficulty. Our hearts are with the communities who lost loved ones and a lot of homes. Challenging time. Our hearts are with the family of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. You know, she's our favorite Supreme Court justice and a celebrity to many of us in the United States. But she's got a family too, so they're mourning her loss. So we're all mourning her loss. And I'll dedicate this to the trees and forests we've lost and are losing right now. Some of these fires are so hot that even the big protected trees can't take it. And to the wildlife, wow. I haven't seen this photograph, but there's this unbelievable photograph I was told about of a rescued fawn and a rescued bobcat kitten from the fires. There's people out there trying to save these burned but still alive animals. And this, I hope I get to see that photograph. But there's this amazing picture of the kitten and the fawn, the predator and the prey, suffering in the fires. There's a river a-flowing near me, and I've watched that river change and grow. For 800 years I have lived here, through the wind, the fire, and the snow. I see salmon return every summer, and I watch young owls learn to fly. I have felt the claws of the grizzly, and I have heard the lone wolf's cry. I have seen great glaciers melting, and I've met lightning I. But now I hear bulldozers coming, and I know that I am soon to die. Who will house the owl? And who will hold that river shore? And who will take refuge in my shadow when my shadow falls no more? But now I hear children running and circling my trunk, and soft and strong people are holding to my branches, so the wind may always carry my song. Thank you, and thank you for requesting that song. Oh, I'm going to show you my t-shirt. Yeah, does that work? That's confusing. My Carmageddon t-shirt, designed and printed by my friend Andrew Rodman. We miss you, Andrew, but I take inspiration from you. I talk to you. I talk to you on the other side, get your advice. One of the great entertainers, great poets, great painters. Thank you, Terry, for giving me this shirt. I wanted to wear it to honor Andrew. Put on my glasses, see where we're at. Again, I'm Dana Lyons. This is Apocalypse Cow. If you want to hear when these shows are going to happen, they're happening intermittently. You can sign up for my email at cowswithguns.com. You can send me a Facebook message saying, hey, Dana, here's my email address. Put me on the list. The way you can help me out is to subscribe on the YouTube. My YouTube channel is Cows with Guns Guy. I think I'm at like 890 subscriptions. You get 1,000 subscribers. Something amazing happens. Something amazing. I don't know. I win a new car. I get a jacuzzi. I'm not sure. It's going to be fantastic, but I'm very close to that amazing day when I'm at 1,000 subscribers. On Facebook, you hit like and follow and all that stuff, which you know, the great advertiser in the sky reads those algorithms and they say, you know, even though, well, I don't know if they might have an algorithm that realizes that the people who watch my music are not big spenders. They're not buying. You people are bad for the economy. We need to spend. We need to spend our way. No, it's good for you. We got to get off the materialism wagon train. The less stuff we have, the less stuff we have to care for, the less materials that are used, the more money in our pocket, the less we have to work. Yeah. So I don't know if Facebook has an algorithm that reads, oh God, Dana's people don't buy anything, so we're gonna put them lower in the rankings. But they might not have figured that out yet. They might not have figured that out yet. So you hit the like, the follow, all the things we do as we pray to this great social, what do they call it? I was going to say social distancing. We all need to be social distanced from Facebook and YouTube, whatever that stuff is called. Oh, yes. And I'll get my act together. I'll get my act together soon. I keep saying this so you can, throw me a few quarters when I'm performing or subscribe on Patreon, which is kind of a cool book. Yeah, it's challenging times for all musicians when you're seeing us on the tube. A lot of us are out of work. If you're out of work, don't worry about it. But if you can help out, that's a fantastic thing. But I will get my act together. I haven't gotten that act. Oh, Carl's crying after the tree. He heard me sing that a lot on our Aotearoa sign. Oh, Jim is thank you, Jim. The AQI, that's the air quality index, is only 35. We were down to 23, but I'm happy with air quality. Yes, it's good. I'm about to go out for a walk. Oh, no. The smoke has arrived in the Netherlands in a high white haze. Oh, I'm sorry about that, Jim. And I know my buddy Timothy, who's going to fly from the newly clean air on Whidbey over to Netherlands. You might be back in the smoke, Timothy. Okay. Let's see, where are we? Okay. Wow, thank you, Margaret. 35 years of music. Yeah. Not that we're counting. Not that we're counting. I color my hair. I put the gray in there to make myself look a little more extinguished. Over there, Bellingham, Curlew, and Spokane. Curlew, I played the Curlew Dome years and years ago. Years and years ago. Great to see you, Margaret. Sing for the trees. Thank you, Sinead. Thank you, John. Thank you, Oshi. Kathy, you walked Downey Creek Wild. Ooh. Oh, good. Good. That's good to hear. Were you able to breathe down there? Wow. Scott, it has been so long, and now we can't get together and hug. But I'll give you an air hug. Scott set up so many shows for me, beautiful shows, fundraisers for the food bank, and your dedication to the food bank, Scott. Wow. And now, wow. I know a lot of us are going to the food bank, and for those of you like Scott who are helping keep the food banks alive, we so appreciate it now more than ever as we go through this economic challenge together, as this pandemic challenge together. Okay, Scott, I hope we get to see you before too long. James, wait. James is in the Netherlands, not the Netherlands. Laugh out loud. Yeah. Okay. Caught the American. Thank you. Thank you, Jim. All right. Well, it's about time for my walk. I'm trying to think of one other song to play for you, and then I'm going to head outdoors and enjoy the. It's 35. The air quality index is 35, as Jim has pointed out. And I'm going to get out there and walk up some hills and get some oxygen. I set up, thanks to my buddy and brother, Steve Vanderstay, he brought over his little thing you put over behind the back tire of your bike, and it raises the bike tire, and you can bicycle in place. That's what I've been doing this week, surrounded by air filters and dehumidifiers in the oxygen of my warehouse, looking out the window at the blackberry patch, talking to friends. They can probably hear in the background. But I just had to do something to get some exercise. So I'm going to go outdoors and celebrate. Get some air before, because the smoke could come back, because the fires aren't over yet. But we hope that the rains will come and put them out soon. So what should I do for a closing song? I hadn't thought this one through. I often close with a closing song that's a cover song, but there are issues. I've got some cover songs are okay on YouTube. Facebook sometimes has issues with cover songs, so. Ride the Lawn for Beth. There it is. I'm going to close with Ride the Lawn. The air might even be clean enough for me to mow my lawn. Of course, we haven't had rain, so there's not much of a lawn. But at some point, I got to pick up the rotting apples and clean. Ride the Lawn. Thanks so much for listening today. Or for those of you who are watching in the future, of course, if you're watching it archived and at this time, it's not in the future. It's the future from when you understand. Archived on YouTube. Apocalypse Cow. My new internet TV show. A 30-minute segment, once in a while. But it's never been 30 minutes. I don't even know why I say that. But and Beth, you were the one that pointed out that you watched 6 30-minute segments of my first show. So ride the lawn. May everyone who's got oxygen in the western United States go out and enjoy the outdoors after this song. My grandpa was a cowboy, and his pa before him. They rode the range, killed the buffalo, and fought the Indian. But the great herd's on the prairie, and the wild frontier is gone. So to carry on my heritage, I go out and ride the lawn. Ride the lawn. Ride the lawn. Here on my quarter-acre lot, I sing my freedom song. Ride the lawn. Ride the lawn. Oh, oh. We'll hunt the dandelion down and whack him till he's gone. I'm inspired here. I need a better hat. My neighbor is a slacker, and he rarely rides the lawn. He says that he likes wildflowers with dew on them at dawn. But the enemy travels quickly when the winds are strong. Next week while he's on vacation, his dandies will be gone. Ride the lawn. Ride the lawn. Here on my quarter-acre lot, I sing my freedom song. Ride the lawn. Ride the lawn. Oh, oh. We'll hunt the dandelion down and whack him till he's gone. And here's the sing-along part. Even though I cannot hear you, I can make believe I do. Here's the sing-along part. In your homes, in the privacy of your own homes, wearing whatever clothes you want. Here it is. Ooh, you can dance and no one's watching you. Ooh, ride the lawn. So the gals go, you can do whatever you want. No one's, but in concert, the gals go, ooh, and the guys go, ride the lawn. Then we repeat, ooh, ride the lawn. Oh, that was beautiful. Thank you, yes. The problem with suburbia is you cannot shoot your gun. So how does one kill herds of moles who eat grass just for fun? Well, I've loaded up my arsenal with shells and ammo cans, and under cover of the fireworks, July 4th, I'll make my stand. Ride the lawn, ride the lawn. Here on my quarter-acre lot, I sing my freedom song. Ride the lawn, ride the lawn. Oh, oh. We'll hunt the dandelion down and whack him till he's gone. Ooh, ride the lawn. Up in the cheap seats. Ooh, ride the lawn. Beautiful. Oh, that was beautiful. My son came home from college and he criticized my lawn. He said fertilizers, herbicides, and pesticides are wrong. Well, I'll listen to your politics and your weirdo leftist songs. But when you're under my roof, don't you dare speak ill of lawns. Ride the lawn, ride the lawn. Here on my quarter-acre lot, I sing my freedom song. Ride the lawn, ride the lawn. Oh, oh. We'll hunt the dandelion down and whack him till he's gone. Ooh, ride the lawn. Ooh, ride the lawn. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Netherlands. Thank you, New Zealand. Thank you, Olympia. Thank you so much. Oh, you're too kind. Oh, you're too kind. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I love that. I love that. The chanting is going. Okay, let's just see the comments. Oh, yes. There's the applause. Oh, woohoo. Okay, we've got cheers from Hawaii. Music is going. Oh, my drink. I need to drink a little water right now. You are welcome, Sinead. Brooklyn, New York. There's Sage. Okay. Back to the banners. Okay. Wild cheerings, foot stomping, seismic. Thank you. Random. Oh, family show. Wait a minute. Thank you very much. Stay safe, everyone. Okay. Oh, yes. Rejoice. What? Not allowed to sing it. Not allowed to do cover songs. Rejoice. We have no choice but to carry on. Remember, hope is irrelevant. We're going forward no matter what. Even if you think there's no hope. We're doing it for our 8-year-old buddies. We're doing it for our 15-year-old buddies. Go team. Work on. Stay organized. Call everyone you want. Everyone you know. Call everyone you know, especially your friends that are a little bit slackers. Well, man, I think I misplaced my ballot. Make sure they're going to vote. Drag them out there. Get them down there, cook them dinner. I know you can't take them in your house because we're all being quarantined, but you can deliver it to their door. Do something special. Get folks to vote. This matters, okay? Celebrate. Hang in there. Breathe if you can. Go outdoors. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Dana Lyons, and you are listening to Apocalypse. Take that applause off there, Dana. Apocalypse Cow. There it is. Apocalypse Cow, episode 2. Thank you so much. Apocalypse Cow, episode 2. Rejoice to have no choice. Thank you very much. Thank you, Australia. And